A very good morning to you and welcome to the Power Breakfast News Online edition. I am Kerigo Ngarwa. One person has this morning been shot outside Caxton House near 680 Hotel along Kenyatta Avenue. It is said a gang came and fenced Caxton House with iron sheets, then broke into some stores and started stealing. Police was then called to come and intervene. Caxton House is at the center of a court battle, with the court asking tenants to move out of the building before it is auctioned off. We'll give you more details in our online bulletins. But we move on, and the Ministry of Education will take action against school head teachers who are defying the ministry's guidelines on school fees. Further, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor Jacob Kaimenyi said the ministry will also take stern action against school heads who are still withholding certificates for candidates who have not cleared their fee arrears. Kaimenyi, who spoke during the release of the 2014 KCSE results, came under heavy criticism from the Kenya National Union of Teachers, who accused the Cabinet Secretary of holding back the education sector through what they termed as unrealistic pronouncements. Sam Getoko reports.
The skyrocketing of school fees has been a burning topic since the beginning of the year, forcing some students to either drop out of school or repeat classes. Parents and other education stakeholders have directed their anger at Education CS Jacob Kaimenyi, prompting him to act.
This is unacceptable, and I wish to put on notice that such end teachers, that once investigations confirm any such irregularities, appropriate disciplinary action will follow.
And hundreds of candidates have been held at ransom by their school bosses who are withholding their national exam certificates, citing school fees arrears. The CS says these actions are unlawful. In last year's KCSE exams, cheating cases reduced by 22% to 2,975, but 5 national schools were among institutions affected by the vice.
2,410 colluded amongst themselves. Others were caught with unauthorized materials. Mobile phones are good, but they can also be a disaster. And 79 were caught with mobile phones in the examinations.
And following the abolition of ranking of schools by the Minister of Education, NAT Secretary General Wilson Sossion has accused CS Kaimenyi of backtracking on gains made in the education sector.
We think there is something wrong squarely at the Ministry of Education, and we could be on a long funeral, and the Cabinet Secretary could be unknowingly a ball bearer of the same.
Candidates who do not qualify to join universities and mid-level colleges have been advised to seek places in 60 technical institutions to be established in 60 constituencies.
Celebrations by best achievers in the just-released KCSE results 2014 continued across the country despite the abolition of ranking of schools and top performers by the Ministry of Education.
The directive not to rank candidates and schools did not dampen the celebratory spirits countrywide soon after the KCSE results were released Tuesday. Among the top performing schools was Kapsabet Boys High School. The 2014 KCSE class fondly referred to as the Olympians would prove their academic prowess, with 94 students scoring a straight A. 108 students scored an A-, while 31 students managed a B+.
The mean score is 11.254 from 11.
The celebrations were in top gear. The Machakos Girls High School rightfully so. Of the 214 candidates who sat the exams, 7 scored an A mean grade, while 212 students have secured positions in public universities. They would take the celebrations to the county government office, as they took pride in the fact that this was their best performance yet, celebrating a mean score of 9.4 points. There are celebrations at various schools in Mombasa County, among them Aga Khan Secondary School, where over 21 candidates managed to score an A plane in last year's KCSE.
I feel like Allah has given me everything, so I feel so happy, and it's so much better when everyone else is around you and celebrating, and all your classmates and schoolmates, and you feel so good, and your family backing you up. It's the best.
In Nyeri County, 18-year-old Maina Washira, a former student at Alliance Boys High School in Kiambu, was hailed for scoring 83 points.
I got an A of 83 points from Alliance High School. Yeah, I'm very happy with this occasion. I know not many got that, so I thank God for it. And I want to go to the university and pursue civil engineering.
53 A planes, 71 A minuses, 61 B pluses.
And I'm very happy to have scored my F and I would like to do the medicine course in the University of Nairobi, which has always been my dream career.
It was all song and dance at Kapenguria Boys High School following the release of 2014 KCSE results. The students marched to the governor's office as they celebrated their school's mean score of 9.9, up from 8.7 points last year.
Still on education matters, members of parliament could well be on their way to reintroduce students and schools ranking system in national examinations should debate on a motion by Kiminini MP Chris Wamalwa sail through today. Wamalwa urges that the merit of ranking cannot be ignored when it comes to selection into secondary schools and universities and the difference in regional conditions across the country.
One minute left. So though people are talking about demerits, yes, demerits are also there because they are talking about ranking you're comparing the uncomparable. But if that argument holds water, then we should say we should have different exams because it's really unfair. Somebody in the village and somebody in a national school, they are doing the same exam. So the purpose of exam is to bring out ranking. When you get to the issue of selections, like you're going to do professional courses, you must look at the criteria of the subjects. So ranking comes in so that there are some given subjects that you must have passed highly in them, for instance, to go and do medicine. If you want to be a lawyer, there are those art subjects you must pass very well. So the issue of ranking, you can't avoid it. Even in the animal kingdom, the ranking is there, and that is the purpose of the exam.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission is today expected to charge 13 individuals implicated in the Anglo Leasing scandal in which the country lost about 7 billion shillings. But even as EACC CEO Halake Wako made the announcement, detectives were barred from accessing the home of Deepak Kamani, a key suspect in the scam that involved dubious security contracts. Meanwhile, Kamani and close family members have filed a case asking the High Court to stop the impending arrest and prosecution. Michael Jenga reports.
Just a day after the DPP Keriako Tobiko ordered for the arraignment in court of 13 people and 3 firms implicated in the Anglo Leasing scandal, a team from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission was at Deepak Kamani's home in Kuna Spring Valley. The guards, though, were under strict instructions not to let anyone in. Kamani is one of the key businessmen mentioned in connection with the scandal, alongside Anura Pereira, Amin Juma, Marilyn Kettering, and Ludmila Katushenko. On Monday, Tobiko confirmed that he had perused files on the 3 Anglo Leasing type security contracts investigations and is satisfied that there is sufficient evidence to sustain all the charges recommended by the EACC. The DPP recommended 7 charges against the 13 individuals and 3 companies that were linked to dubious deals in which Kenya lost about 7 billion shillings. According to the EACC CEO Halake Wako, all the individuals will be charged on Wednesday, regardless of whether they appear in person in court or not. Meanwhile, Deepak Kamani, his father Chamanal and brother Rashmi have filed a suit seeking orders to stop arrest and prosecution over Anglo Leasing scandal. Michael Njenga for Citizen TV.
A joint parliamentary committee has approved the nomination of Joseph Kipchirchir Boynet as the Inspector General of Police. The committee, in a report tabled simultaneously in the National Assembly and the Senate by the Joint Committee on National Security and Defence, cleared Boynet to take over as the country's top cop amid questions that were raised on the authenticity of academic documents presented by the career spy during his vetting last week. But as Francis Gashuri reports, it took an explanation by the Commission for Higher Education for the committee to clear Boynet, who now awaits the verdict of the House plenary before the President appoints him.
Joseph Kipchirchir Boynet is just a step away from becoming the country's top cop after his nomination was okayed by the Joint Committee of the National Assembly and the Senate on National Security and Defense that vetted him last week. The Joint Committee's report was tabled in the National Assembly by Tiati MP Asman Kamama, who chairs the National Security Committee, and in the Senate, it was tabled by Garissa Senator Yusuf Haji. Both houses will debate the report tomorrow, and if adopted by the lawmakers, Boynet will be appointed by President Uhuru Kenyatta to fill the void left by David Kimayo, who retired earlier than scheduled last year following a spate of terror attacks and general insecurity in the country.
I've also served in the intelligence service, and I have received requisite training in national security, both locally and abroad.
But Boynet, who until his nomination was the principal intelligence officer at the National Intelligence Service (NIS), did not have it easy during the vetting exercise last week. Questions were raised on the authenticity of his academic credentials, with some members of the Joint Committee insisting that Washington International University, where Boynet graduated with a bachelor's degree in diplomacy and international relations, was not accredited by the Commission for Higher Education.
Which degree did you specifically attain from St. Paul's University? Of interest to this committee also is whether St. Paul's University is recognized by Commission for University Education in this country.
I did the first degree while working, and it was online study.
And with the top police job seeming to escape Boynet over the members' dissatisfaction with his papers, it took the intervention of the Secretary to the Commission for Higher Education, Professor David Some, to explain to the committee on the accreditation process. Some told the Joint Committee that Washington International University, that awarded Boynet his bachelor's degree after studying through correspondence, was recognized by United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization UNESCO, which is the specialized agency of the United Nations that Kenya is a signatory to. Boynet's fate will now be determined by the National Assembly and the Senate tomorrow during their plenary sessions. If the two houses adopt the Joint Committee's report, then Boynet will be appointed by the President to become the country's second Inspector General of Police.
Well, we've come to the end of the Power Breakfast News online edition for this Wednesday morning. Many thanks for joining us. I am Kirigo Ngaro, wishing you a beautiful day. For now, let's enjoy some music.